Desperation. We've all done bad things for desperation before. Some of us, we may have double texted, even triple texted someone. That's pretty bad. But there are plenty of people out there that have gone way further for desperation. Few of you might have your own stories. Maybe back in middle school, you did something really silly back in high school. But what if some people do this well into adulthood? What if people do this as grown adults? They've graduated high school. Some of them even gotten through college. Maybe even gotten a degree, like a master's degree or a doctorate. It's pretty rough. Now, I was messing around. I was scrolling on Reddit on the Am I Overreacting subreddit. And there are just so many gold mines in that subreddit. And I found one. And it's very interesting. And it very much shows just how far some people go for their desperation. People trying to capitalize off of an opportunity or trying to take advantage of a very bad situation. So we're pretty much just going to get into that. So here we are. The one I found is, it says, am I overreacting? My boyfriend died and our old, quote, friend from high school is messaging me. And he prefaces this by saying, my boyfriend of 13 years passed away when our apartment caught fire back in April of this year. An old friend from high school reached out to me, and now I'm getting a little uncomfortable. Am I reading into this too much? Because to me, his intentions don't feel right. I'm literally mourning the love of my life, and this just does not seem appropriate at all. This was only 10 months ago, by the way, so this is recent. Now, before we get into it, you may have seen some of the messages already, but I just gotta let you know, this is crazy. Some people really just go so far for their desperation. And I hope none of you have ever been in a situation where you did this. And God, I really hope some of you have not been a victim of this situation or this kind of situation. Anyways, without further ado, let's go further into it. So, it says, hey blank, it's this person. I heard what happened with the deceased boyfriend and wanted to reach out and send my condolences. I know we haven't talked for a minute, but if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm always here. So initially, this conversation, it seems very wholesome. They go, hey, thank you for reaching out. I appreciate the kind message. Hope all is well with you. And they said, no problem. Haven't seen either of you since high school, so life sure has been a roller coaster, LMAO. Blank and I got married a couple months ago. Beautiful ceremony. So not only is this person reaching out to someone whose partner just deceased, but they have a partner of their own. They're married. But you know what? Maybe we're just overreacting, right? We know we're not, but maybe we are. This situation gets a lot worse. So, we go further in, right? Wow, that's amazing, person. Congratulations. She was always really sweet. I'm glad you found your person. Couldn't be happier. It's kind of crazy, honestly, when you think about it. Remember when everyone thought me and you were going to be endgame back in high school? LOL. And he's trying to be very nonchalant about it. Don't know if I ever heard that one. Even blank remembers. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a little jealous if she knew I was messaging you to send me your condolences. And they're talking about their partner at that point. So now it's starting to get weird, right? You got this person and they're like, remember when everyone thought we would get together? Crazy. And the person receiving the messages doesn't really reciprocate this. They're just like, I don't know about that one. I don't remember hearing something like that. And they're like, oh, even my partner thinks that. And my partner would be really jealous if I was messaging you right now. And the response that they give is very valid. To send me your condolences? Really? Someone's going to get jealous over that? That's a really toxic or bad relationship if that's the case, right? So it continues further. You can get a little overprotective. Listen, I was thinking maybe if you want to get out of the house for a bit, maybe go for a drive or something. We could totally do that. Maybe it'll make you feel better. And what? I don't know. You can't read someone's mind, but that just sounds bad. Maybe we could meet up, just you and I, and we could go somewhere privately. And it's like, and then look at the neediness. The 2 question marks right after. And then the no pressure, just an offer. Kind of damage control as much as possible. Just like these 2 question marks. And I don't know, he's framing it like he's a good Samaritan. Just an offer. I'm just trying to help. Don't have to do it. But like these 2 question marks after that he sends. And it doesn't seem like it's been that long since he sent the message prior. It's just like so needy. I need that response like quick. Now, going further, it's totally cool if you're not down. We could link up another day if you're busy. Just let me know. If you're down, I can pick you up. I'm just trying to figure out my night. Does he say anything absolutely horrible? No. But that's really weird, right? Because he first comes in being like, oh, my partner would be really jealous if I was even talking to you. Even texting you, just send condolences. And then, so how do you think they're going to feel if you guys are meeting up in private and driving somewhere alone? You're telling me everyone thought we would get together. My partner's overprotective and would get jealous if I even sent my condolences to you. And then you see this play out where we should still meet anyways and we should still go out somewhere. Just an offer though. Why aren't you responding? Of course, I don't know. Let's just go into some of the comments because I'm very curious. Not overreacting. This is completely inappropriate. Cuts his condolences short to mention his wedding. Jokes about how you two were to be endgame by your peers. Says his wife is overprotective and easily jealous. Despite number 3, invites you for a car ride to chat. Absolutely not. His intentions are clear and they're not pure. How scummy of him to speak to you while you're mourning. And he's currently married. Exactly. Another comment. Not overreacting, this made me say yuck aloud. 100% fishing to see if you want to make bad choices with him. Vile on pretty much every level from you in mourning to him. Using his recent marriage as a way to force a conversation to begin. As well as icky reminiscing and hoping you enjoyed the idea of making his partner jealous. Proper creep behavior. Just never respond. Not even worth the confrontation. A guy this much of a blankhead isn't ever going to be able to say anything that helps. If anything, he'll likely go nuclear and just start insulting you and argue he was just being nice, or that you're the creep for reading into it, which is exactly what I'm saying. He says this, no pressure, just an offer. It's totally cool if you're not down thing. So that if he gets confronted about it, he's like, whoa, I wasn't forcing you to, I wasn't doing anything crazy. He's trying to give himself a plausible deniability, an out if he needs it. No pressure, just an offer. I gave you a choice, but I don't know. I wanted to stray away from a more traditional story of where someone is so clearly desperate. They're asking for stuff and blatantly asking for things and being bold about it. This is just a situation where if you read between the lines and whatnot, you can see it. It's a lot more obvious than this guy probably thinks it is. And it's not super blatant, and he's not super blunt about it, but you can tell there's intentions in there. And the other commenter said, it's almost like he's throwing a bone out, testing the waters to see where this person's head is at, and if they'd be willing to engage in the same degeneracy. And it's a little bit concerning, I'll tell you that much. So, I don't know. It's just weird, man. It is concerning. But hopefully they didn't respond. They just left it there because, I don't know. You never know what people are going to do, right? They could get dangerous. They could do some really bad things. I just thought it was interesting. Really analyzing this. She can get overprotective. And then immediately the second message is, we could meet in private and go for a drive. And then trying to make it seem like he's trying to help. Maybe it'll help you feel better. He obviously has his own intentions, his own ulterior motives. But like using this language, maybe it'll help you. I'm helping you. I'm being charitable here. It's not me who's benefiting from this. It's you thing. I don't know. You got to look into it a little, but I wish we could see exact timestamps on these messages because I bet there was like 2 or 3 minutes between these 2 messages. I just thought it was crazy. And this whole, I couldn't be happier. And then he proceeds to definitely do these things that prove that he's probably not happy. And not to mention saying he couldn't be happier and then going, she can get overprotective. And that just sounds really negative the way he's saying it. He's like, you can get a little overprotective with the little dots here, the ellipsis or whatever. You're making it sound like it's a bad thing. So are you sure you couldn't be happier? I don't know. It's just, I think it's obvious. And any of you watching this video was probably thinking the same thing that I am, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. It's just, I don't know. It's very interesting. We can go into more of these comments real quick. Not overreacting. He's being very inappropriate and considerate. Sorry this happened to you, and so on. Yo, this is a good one. Disgusting on so many levels. He reached out with his condolences. You gave a short standard reply. He launched into how great life is for him and mentioned he got married when you're grieving your spouse, not asking how you're holding up at all or showing any real concern. Thing, couldn't be happier, knowing that you're experiencing a traumatic loss and likely one of the lowest points in your life. How's that supposed to be helpful? Great for you, dude. It only emphasizes how sad I am. Then brings up an imaginary relationship he created in his head, I guess, while you're grieving your spouse, and saying other people thought that too. Insinuating, oh, so crazy that we could have been together, but you're technically single now, even though I just told you I got married. She'd be jealous, insinuating that this convo means anything. Like you said, over sending condolences as if it gave him more than a 3-line long response to any message. Why would she be jealous over 3 messages unless she knows he's a creep that's still thinking about you years after seeing you? That was the best thing you could think to say. Like, what is wrong with you? And so on. Also, the emoji sent me over the edge. I would have been done right, replying right then and there. Desperately trying to get you to hang out after just hitting on you in the weirdest of ways, at the worst of times, while again having a wife. Not, we can get coffee and talk if you want, but we can go for a drive. High scores, bro? No, this is not your opportunity to live out your teenage fantasy. Even the coffee and talk thing, I think would be weird, but that's just my opinion. No pressure, just 6 texts in a row. My dying to figure out my night, as if you gave any indication you were interested in spending any time with him after not speaking for years. Why would he assume that would happen? He's genuinely stupid. And I'm telling your wife, let's just see how... Really, tell them. Lure him into saying something really incriminating. That would be funny. Lead him on a little bit, and then he says something. That is very true, though. I'm just trying to figure out my night. He's trying to almost put out some sort of urgency with this. There's so many layers. He's trying to have this kind of urgency. I can pick you up right now. I'm just trying to figure out my night, and it's already 6:50 p.m. It's already getting late. Totally cool if you're not down. The neediness with the question marks, trying to rush out an answer. I couldn't be happier after someone is very depressed. The last thing you want to do is be like, well, my life is great. And the whole, she can get a little overprotective after saying you couldn't be happier. This has a very negative connotation to it. And if you couldn't be happier, you wouldn't be saying something like that, right? I don't know. If I'm in a relationship, right? And I'm like, wow, this is the best relationship ever. I could not be happier with my situation. It is so great. It is so lovely. And then I proceed to, I'm talking to someone and I'm like, she can get really needy. Ugh. I have this tone of, it's too much for me. I don't like it. I don't know. It doesn't sound like you couldn't be happier. These comments are actually golden. They're really wording it perfectly, what I'm trying to say here. Reaching out only to give condolences would be one thing. Everything else is so gross, selfish, and inappropriate. I thought him making a point to note that he was recently married and how happy he is alone was insensitive, and making it all about him given you just lost your partner. Read the room, dude. That's true. I could not read the room at all. But then he has the audacity to use it as an in to flirt with you. That is crazy. Very much manipulating the situation. Everyone's agreeing with this. Not overreacting. The dude is weird. His first message was fine, which I agree. It starts out just fine. It was like, I heard about this. I'm really sorry. If you need someone, I'm here for you. That's fine. That's supportive. Whatever. When talking about your boyfriend passing, then immediately pivot to his own beautiful wedding is callous given the circumstances. It gets weirder and more uncomfortable when he mentions high school crushes and rumors about you two. To then tell you his wife would be mad you're talking, but you should go for a ride together anyways. Do not agree to be around this guy. Either ignore or politely, but firmly decline. Either way, I would not keep talking to this dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if you want to get too aggressive with people like this, because you really never know what they could do. You could ignore it, and that's fine, or just politely and firmly decline. But I don't know. If you get too aggressive about it, I don't know. All I'm saying... Not accusing anyone, not saying anything would happen. I'm just saying you never know with people what would happen, right? What a crazy situation, man. But that's pretty much everything I have to say about it. Pretty much all the comments agreed with the sentiment I was putting out. And that's pretty much everything I have. So I'll see you guys in the next one.